office. And so we're excited to have you online. And as my business coach, I haven't really told them much about what you do or how we interact or any of those things. But I thought we would just take it from, I've had them all fill out the action card.
Okay.
And I did send to you one that I had taken last night over the phone.
Nice.
And Juanita is here. So
Juanita, you have an amazing personality.
Oh my God, I miss you, Doc. Hello.
Hello, very nice to meet you. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today?
Great, thank you.
Good. Are you guys ready for a really exciting session?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, obviously, because I'm not there, I mean, I am in spirit, but I can't see any of your facial features, and so I don't know if you have a question. I try to sense it energetically, but I might have a hard time, getting all of that. So how each of you are going to go ahead and gain the most from today is going to be by participation. And so we're actually going to record the session, both what's on the screen and then what we're talking about, because people have traditionally said, Mark, you talk really fast. We go over a lot of information in a short period of time. I wish I would have had a recording of this because I'd like to go over it. And then a lot of people will go and say, this is so cool. This isn't just for real estate or credit repair or anything like that. Like, this is true for financial planners or for builders or architects or CPAs or any of the other referral partners that might refer you all real estate. You can share the recording with them too, because there's some really cool things. Don said the focus you guys were kind of focused in on today was getting your business to work without you. Is that kind of did I get that right, Don?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone have any questions before we dive in? Dive in, Mark. Say, dive in, Mark.
Go for it. Dive in.
All right, so you guys have something you can write with?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could, write down this. You don't have to turn it in, but write down these questions. So number one question is that you write down is, what would you say the biggest challenge that you're facing in any area of your business or life? Just write that down.
Well, they have the action card in front of them right now.
Did they fill it out?
I think all of them have filled it out.
Oh, that's even awesome. Better. So you guys have that. What's the biggest challenge? Who's your ideal lead? If somebody could help you in any area of your life, what would you love help with? So everything that we talk about today connects back in. Think about how what we're talking about today addresses your biggest challenge, or addresses what you love help on. Or if there was one thing you could change about in your life, what would you love to be changed? Or your wow income goal. Like, what's your wow income goal? The difference between look at your minimum income goal and then look at your wow income goal, often that's going to be double. Not always, but often it's double. So if we want to go ahead and our minimum income goal, let's say, is $100,000 and we want to earn $250,000, the difference between those two numbers is actually how we think. So believe it or not, the difference between doubling our income is thinking differently. And the best resource that we have found for this is what's called engineered clarity. And you can jot down this website. It's it's Clarity, no www, clarity.dna4success.com. That's clarity.dna4success.com, and you can play around. There's lots of great resources. And so the three different areas, so engineered clarity is the process of thinking differently that brings satisfaction where you desire clarity in people, business, or life. And so you can go in and actually take a look at these three areas. Is there anyone that went ahead and listed as your biggest challenge or you'd love help with, you'd like more time? Anybody? Nobody? What were some of the biggest challenges you guys had listed?
Mass marketing and the cost associated with it.
Okay. Other challenges?
Time management is always a challenge.
Okay.
Okay, so we had time management. What else? Follow-up. What?
Okay.
The follow-up.
Follow-up.
Gotcha. Okay. Follow-up. Good. Time management. What else?
Office support.
Okay. Office support. Good. Excellent.
Leads, getting qualified leads.
Getting qualified leads.
Gotcha. All right. Good. Any other biggest challenges? So the goal is today is when you think of getting your business to work without me, so that's BWWM actually, business working without me. You can talk to Don if you're interested. There's a mastermind group on Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific time on business working without me, BWWM. And think of getting your business to work without you not as a yes or no, but think of it as a spectrum. Like, is it 100% it has to run every single day? I can't take any vacation. So 8 years ago, I went ahead and discovered what's called the secret about time. And so my wife and I, we've been married for 35 years. I have 3 bachelor's degrees in business, 1 in finance, 1 in management, 1 in marketing. When I graduated from college, I had 6 job offers, and I took the one that was 100% straight commission position. My wife was actually 3 months pregnant at the time. We knew she wouldn't be working outside the home, and I bought a house at the same time. Came in, it was a small company. They gave me 2 days of training, and they said, Mark, go sell. I went out there and sold, and I made $1 an hour for the first 3 months, came into the president of the company and pounded on his desk and said, Tony, I'm getting killed here. I mean, I'm making $1 an hour, and I've got a wife who's now 6 months pregnant. I've got a house. I'm dying here. He said, well, Mark, you got to be patient. It takes 12 to 18 months, which they didn't tell me in the interviewing process that that's what it was. I said, well, Tony, I don't have 12 to 18 months. I've got to do something now. And he said, well, what do you think you ought to do? And I said, well, I think I ought to do this, this, and this. And he said, well, go do it. And fortunately for me, I'd started a number of my own businesses while I was in college. One of those was a computer business, so I had more computing power in college, or I had more computing power at home than the whole company had. So I developed systems. I said, Mark, I love people. I just don't like them. So I don't like to be, I'm an introvert. And I love people, but I just struggle being around people. So I'm not good at selling, and I don't like selling. So I'm like, what are you good at, Mark? And I said, I'm really good at developing systems. So it took me a month to come up with that first system. So I'd been out there 4 months getting killed, went out there with a system and accomplished more in 7 days than I had in 4 months. 6 months after I joined that company, I was promoted to a regional manager. 6 months after that, marketing manager. And then a year and a half after that, offered a position as VP of sales with an equity position in the company. I accomplished my 7-year goal, making well into the 6-figure income in a year and a half. And I did it because of systems. And so in thinking differently, 8 years ago, what I did is I learned to think differently about time. And so we as business owners think about time and money in a very different way. And so that's the DNA for life, understanding, how to think differently, so double our income, work the number of hours we want to work. So most business owners think about money and time differently. They think about money. If you invest $10,000 into something, what do you expect back? $10,000 plus something else. If we do that, we'll have an abundance of money. But if you ask a business owner, an entrepreneur, if you invest 10 hours, what do you expect back? Most business owners expect money back. And whenever we exchange time for money, we always run out of time, always. So now I have an extra 20 hours of free time a week. Just last week I got back from a 2-week vacation to Hawaii, and my business ran without me. It actually grew when I was gone. So think of it as a spectrum where is 10% or 20% of my business running without me. You don't have to get 100% tomorrow. Just get 10, 20, 30. There's actually a free online survey if you wanted to test. Don's got access to that he can get, or Elise or Michelle can go ahead and get you that as well, where there's a survey that'll test you and look at how much of your business is running without you. Let's go into the business arena here. And when we look at the business arena, there's 5 areas within business. So area 1 is marketing. How do we generate more and better leads? So I'm going to go one more level deep. So how do we generate more and better leads? Area 2 is pre-sales. Once we get a lead, what do we go ahead? How do we convert that lead? Area 3 is the sale. That's the yes or the no. Area 4 is servicing. How do we create a raving fan servicing experience to where our clients refer all their friends and family to us? And then area 5 is client or relationships for life. How do we build lifelong relationships? So if you look at these 5 areas in business, it's like a pipeline, and we're only as strong as our smallest pipe. And so if you look at your minimum income goal that you wrote down, often, again, not always, but often our minimum income goal is what we're earning now. Our WOW income goal is often twice what we're earning now. And so if your WOW income goal is 250, let's say, you could have actually 4 out of the 5 areas at 250, but if one of those areas is 100,000 or 50,000 or 20,000 or whatever it is, if one of these, we're only as strong as our smallest pipe, as our weakest pipe. Anyone have any questions on that? Is that pretty clear?
Pretty clear.
So when we look at, this is what's called the 530 grid. So the 530 grid is, there's 5 areas within our business. And so when we look at the 530 grid, let me go down here. So there's 5 areas within our business. And then there's 6 levels of proficiency as we go through these 5 areas. And so one of you had said your biggest challenge was the cost of mass marketing. So a lot of individuals are doing internet marketing. There's nothing wrong with internet marketing, but it's very, very costly. The cost is actually not in the cost it takes to generate a lead. The cost is actually in area 2 and 3 in pre-sales and sales. So, for example, an internet lead often is going to be somewhere between 1 and 3%. Let's say it's even 10%, but most of the time it's 1 to 3%. So if it's even 10%, that means you have to get 10 leads to get 1 sale. That means your work, 90% of the work you're doing in pre-sales, 90% of the work you're doing in the sale, you're not getting paid for. So if we're not getting paid on 90% of the work we do, it's really hard. So circle your WOW income goal, and then also write anywhere on that the action card how many hours you'd like to work. Just write it anywhere. And then how many hours you're currently working. So my wife and I, 35 years of married, we've been blessed with 7 children. And at one point, I was working over 100 hours a week with 7 kids, 4 teenagers. I mean, it was tough to have a balanced life and get everything done. And so I wish somebody had taught me all those years ago those types of things. And so when we look at our WOW income goal, and when we look at how many hours we're working a week, we've got to get a higher quality lead. And the best quality lead that we can get is going to be from a referral, either a current or past client, or it's going to be from a referral partner, like a CPA or a financial planner or a builder or a chiropractor. I mean, any business. So the average person on the street knows 250 people. The average business owner knows over 5,500 people. So when you look at how many referrals an individual, a client, can refer to you, that's quite a bit. But a business owner can refer over 20 times the number of referrals. The question is, how do we develop business relationships where these business owners, these business leaders, influencer, community-based organizations can get a consistent number of great referrals, high quality of referrals coming to us? We need to bring something of value to these other business owners. Does anyone have any questions on that? Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. So sometimes, again, I speak, too quickly. Now, there's one of the natural laws is going to be, so if we look at the three DNAs, DNA for people is the science behind understanding somebody's personality in 17 seconds. Once you identify somebody's personality, you know their strengths, weaknesses, what they like, what they don't, turns them on, turns them off, if they're married, who they're married to, conflict of marriage. You know what to say, when to say it, how to say it. You know more about the individual than they know about themselves. So obviously in real estate, which most of you are in real estate, if you can identify somebody's personality in 17 seconds, you can double your sales closing ratio. So if you had 10 leads, a lead being, and write this down too, if you had 10 leads, a lead being a name and a phone number from all the different lead sources, how many would convert? The average in most industries is about 1 out of 10. Internet leads are going to be, maybe 3 out of 100. And then referrals from current and past clients can be anywhere from 3 to 7 out of 10. And so there's a science. This is in the 530 grid. You'll see box 7, how to ask for referrals. So Don and Michelle. So do you all know Michelle?
By phone.
By phone.
Yeah, she's amazing. Like I'm telling you. And so she can help you guys with so many things. And so you want to share your biggest challenge with her so she knows what that is, because she's got access into massive libraries of white papers and videos and a lot of other types of things where she can go ahead and help you with any problem you have. She's got resources that'll tap into it. So asking for referrals will go ahead and help you to lower your cost, your lead generation cost. It'll help you with follow-up. It'll help you in time management. You'll actually need less office support, and obviously you'll get higher qualified leads. Now, let's say here we have Juanita's ideal lead, and then biggest challenge, and love help on, and then geo and pain quadrant test. Juanita, would it be okay if I did a personality assessment on you? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. So Juanita went ahead and said the pyramid, the wavy line, the ball, and the cube. What does that mean? That means she's a 4123. Well, you might say, what's a 4123? Well, a 4123 means that Juanita's primary personality in the geo test is a driver, and her secondary is an expressive. So driver, expressive. So one of Juanita's greatest strengths might be your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And one of your weaknesses might be your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen.
Yes.
Our greatest strength is our greatest weakness, and our greatest weakness is our greatest strength. Misapplied, it's taking a strength and carrying it too far. Another strength for Juanita is going to be her expressive personality, and so one of her greatest strengths is going to be her energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
And a weakness would be the same. So this, Juanita, I'm really jealous of this personality. I've been blessed to be an international speaker and author. I've written 16 books. One of those books I co-authored was with Tom Kuntz, who's the most recent past president of Century 21, largest real estate franchise in the world. And Tom also helped raise over $100 million for Easter seals. And so Tom's got this same exact personality, Juanita, that you do. It's a very powerful personality. It's a double assertive. So you're assertive both people. So people will probably find you really fun and funny and outgoing. And so you like people. You like to connect with people. The driver personality would give you assertiveness in asking for the sale. So if there is a natural salesperson, this would be that type of personality. So a double assertive, really powerful personality in sales and in leadership. I don't know how accurate that is, Juanita, but that's what I come up with.
Great, thank you.
Now, on the Pain Quadrant test, it tests out something different, which is interesting. On the Pain Quadrant test, Juanita tests out as an amiable driver personality. So secondary is going to be similar, but the primary is very different. And so in this test, another strength that Juanita would have would be her concern, compassion for people. And a weakness would be concern, compassion for people. And so this is a complex personality. When you take a look at the Geo and the Pain Quadrant personality, there's 65,536 possible combinations. And so there's probably only about 8 to 11% of the professional coaches in the planet that can coach this complex of a personality. It's not bad. It's very powerful. It's a big engine. This type of personality tends to go ahead and have a lot of inner conflict because they have a million ideas. They want to do them all fast, do them all kind of perfect, and they want everybody to be happy. So that person's has the right foot on the gas and left foot's on the brake. So there's a lot of inner conflict. And so when you go ahead and said your biggest challenge, what you love help with, is how to market yourself as knowledgeable expert advisor and then have more confidence, this type of personality is very gifted. It's unusual. So you're able to go ahead and help all different personalities and all different spectrums. Typically, listing agents will tend to be more driver and expressive personality, and selling agents will tend to be more analytical or amiable. The reason for that is the listing agents will go ahead, somebody, if they're listing their home, they kind of want a barracuda. They kind of want somebody really aggressive. And so the driver and the expressive will tend to be more assertive, aggressive. And if it's a buyer's agent rather than a listing agent, they want somebody that's going to hold their hand more. They're going to want somebody that's going to be really knowledgeable about the marketplace. So they're going to tend to draw to this. So once we understand our personality and then how to identify somebody's personality in 17 seconds, there's a great mobile app. It's free. It's called, it's www.life-gps.org. Life-gps.org. And it'll literally take you 17 seconds. You can go in as a mobile app and you can click, have somebody click on these, which of the four shapes and which of the other. And then it comes up with videos that are really like 1-minute videos that'll show you what your personality is, or you could do it in a listing appointment, whatever you want. Juanita, I don't know how close that is, but again, that's what the personality is. That's what the DNA for people shows. Any questions on that?
So that's why, I think that's why I have more buyers than sellers.
Gotcha. Yeah, and there's things that you can do system-wise, coaching-wise, tools-wise that will help you in being able, if you want to. So some people want to work with more buyers, some want to work with more sellers, some want an even distribution. So understanding of the DNA for people will help you in understanding of personalities. One thing that I would encourage, you guys to consider is setting up what's called a coffee connection. And Don's got a lot of the resources. One of you, if you wanted to set that up, he needs 2 to 3 people to lead up a coffee connection. He wouldn't be there every week, but he would support it, help with it. Michelle would help with it. The thing that's nice about it is you can invite any business. So you could invite CPAs, you can invite financial planners, builders, chiropractors, any business owner. And again, they have 5,500 people that they could refer to you. So if you have something that's called a coffee connection, you can invite other people, they will invite other people, and you can get professional referral partners. And when you get these professional referral partners in place, you're going to have a higher quality lead. You're going to have more consistent flow of leads because you're going to be bringing them value. They're going to referring, and your cost for lead is going to go way, way down, and you're not dependent on the internet or some technology company that may be competing against you. Who knows? It's kind of weird. Any questions that you guys have on any of that?
That's all fairly clear so far.
Cool. So the last 5 minutes, I just want to go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, on any of your biggest challenge, or if you want me to do a personality assessment on you, or what you'd love help with, or, anything, I'd be more than happy to answer any question you might have.
I'd like a personality.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
I guess I have an answer for her.
Okay. So let's go ahead, and your first name is?
Patricia.
Patricia. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And Patricia, which of the 4 shapes did you choose first?
I chose the squiggly line.
Okay, the wavy line, good. And then next?
I chose the triangle.
Okay, good. And next?
And then the square.
Okay, good. All right. And which of the 4 things caused you the most frustration? Things not being done properly in order, out of control, boring or not fun, or conflict?
Boring.
Boring, okay. And then second?
I'm not following you.
Out of those 4 things, what was the second thing?
The second thing was the triangle.
Okay.
Underneath.
Oh, it was down here. Okay. Oh, okay. Do that.
So which of these 4 things would cause you the most frustration? Not being done properly in order, out of control, boring or not fun, or conflict with others?
I would say out of control.
Okay, out of control is number 1?
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
And then out of control would be 2.
Okay.
And then I say not being done properly out of order.
Okay. So you are a 32-14 on both of the tests, so your test comes back as a 64-28. So what does that mean? You test out really super expressive personality. So again, one of your greatest strengths is going to be your energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. One of your weaknesses is your energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. One of your greatest strengths is going to be your drive, your assertiveness, you make things happen. One of your weaknesses would be your drive, your assertiveness, you make things happen. In the third position is going to be the analytic, dot the I's and cross the T's. But these 2 tend to be the strongest for you in both tests. And so, Patricia, would you say that at times you might overwhelm people? Not bad, but good or bad?
I don't know. I don't feel so I overwhelm people, no.
Okay. That's good. This type of personality would tend to overwhelm people, not in a bad way. They're just really, really, like they've got a lot of energy, a lot of drive. They tend to see big picture. They're great visionaries. They see people's potential. And so when somebody's not living up to their potential, they get really frustrated. I'm a driver analytic personality, so I like to do things fast and perfect in that order. the driver amiable personality will tend to run people over, apologize for running them over, and then run them over again. The driver, the driver analytic personality will tend to run somebody over, and then I'll explain why they deserve to be run over. See, people don't like me. I don't know why. It's my social autism. I'm just like, well, lead, follow, get out of the way. And so I'll tend to run people over and then go ahead and explain why they deserve to be run over. Patricia and Juanita, driver expressive, they're like my good friend Tom Kuntz. And we're going through a course right now. It's called Leverage, the Magical Arts of Positive Motivation Manipulation. It may be the top course I've ever gone through. You might want to take a look into it. But my good friend Tom, and so is a driver analytic or driver expressive. So they run people over, but they do it in such a fun way that people go, please, please run me over again. I mean, this personality, I'm so jealous of them because when they run them over, they're more direct than I am actually, but they get away with it because they're not explaining why somebody deserves to be run over, but they're just making it kind of a game and kind of fun. So, Patricia, I don't know.
Would you say that's my daughter, Christina?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Patricia, I don't know how close that is, but that's what I come up with.
Well, I got 1 expressive, 2 driver, 3 analytic, and what was the 4th one?
Then the 4th is amiable.
Oh, okay. I got exactly the same as her. I marked the same. So if you can combine the driver and the amiable, that's what you really want, right?
Well, each personality, if somebody's an amiable driver personality, this is what they call passive-aggressive. Now, passive-aggressive is a wonderful, I've only had one person ever tell me I'm passive-aggressive. I was so thankful, gave him a hug. And so passive-aggressive is actually a really good strategy. Be passive. If that doesn't work, get aggressive. My approach is pretty much aggressive-aggressive. There's no passive. It's just aggressive-aggressive. So each of the personalities have their strengths and weaknesses. So learning how to flex into the different personalities, we tend to like other people who are like us, and we tend to fall in love with people who are opposite of us. And so I'm a driver analytic. My wife is an amiable, expressive, a little bit of analytic, but she's very amiable. So the very things that draw us together are the very things that push us apart. And so when we understand the science of this, it can double just understanding personality masteries can double your sales closing ratio, because now you understand how to sell to people the way they want to be sold to, how to communicate, how to push people, how to present information. So it's very counterintuitive. And once we learn this as a science, then we're able to do it more precisely. Don,
here in Silicon Valley, and most of the clients whom I've worked with are pretty much analytical. I mean, they're tech people. So I would think that would come out. That's the type of personality that I seem to keep running into. They're analytical people. They're people.
And it's
just full of
right.
The driver in you absolutely has a problem with the analytics.
Right, and if you're expressive, you even have more of a problem. In addition to that, when they meet you, if they're a male, they're probably married to somebody like you, and so that may be good or it may be bad. So yes, in technology, there's tons of analytic, and if you're an expressive or driver personality, learning how, it's like you have to rewire your brain to think in a very different way on selling to them and servicing them. It's very counterintuitive, but when you do that, the amount of business they'll refer to you is massive.
Wow. Yeah.
Don, do we have to wrap up now, or any other questions? I don't want to cut people off, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time.
Thank you.
We're okay on the time. If they've got other questions, we can certainly go for it.
Okay.
You said there was a website where you can look all this up.
Yeah.
What's the website again? Clarity?
It's clarity.DNA4, DNA4, spelled out FOR, clarity.dna4success.com. That's clarity.dna4success.com. And when you get...
It's on the top of this card. And I've got an extra one that I can send home. I want you to leave those here, but I'll give you one to take home with you. Okay? All right. Sorry, Mark.
No worries. And so any business owners that you know, again, remember, how many people does an average person know?
250.
Very good. Taking notes. I love that. And the average business owner, how much do they know?
5,500.
Over 5,500.
Yeah.
So one of the DNA for life natural laws, so in here, the third aspect of the DNAs are going to be DNA for life, and there's over 500 natural laws that have been discovered, and one of those natural laws is the database rule of 13. So in real estate, in mortgages, in financial services, in a lot of the servicing industry, you take somebody's database, multiply it times 13, and that's how many real estate or mortgage or, financial services. So how many, for you, your real estate, so how many real estate people, so a business owner, you take 5,500, multiply it times 0.13 or 0.13, an average business owner could refer you 715 referrals a year. It's huge, but you've got to have systems in place to go ahead and do it. That's where the 530 grid comes into play. So in the 530 grid here is when you build your business, it's called a BOSS system, a business operating system. It's the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, have the stress we do or don't have, and the life balance we do or don't have because of that engine. So when you build a system, you architect, and I also have my partner on, Elise, and so she does a lot of the executive coaching. She's amazing. And so Elise or Michelle or Don, any one of them could help you develop a system for getting referrals. And it can be a machine, and once you get that in place, and that's where the coffee connection, you get together once a week, and you start getting together with 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and it will grow, and then it'll replicate. Like there's a coffee connection in Reno, and it's growing so much now there's 4 different coffee connections that have started from one. And so what you can do is you'll attract high-level business owners and leaders, and when you bring value to them and help them with their biggest challenge or what they love help with, so these action cards, you can actually have any business owner, any leader, any community-based influencer, you have them fill out the action card and bring it back to Don, and then he can go ahead. He might have Michelle or he might have Elise help you. He's got a whole team of people that can help you. And when you help them with something that they share with you on the action card, as you help them, they help you. When the tide rises, all the ships rise together. And then again, this session is recorded, which is really cool because it clones all of us. So if you guys wanted to take this recording, Don will have it probably next week. It'll be ready. And so Don can show you where you can get that. And you can take that and, talk with your CPA or a financial planner or a builder or a, insurance agent or a chiropractor. Any business owner will benefit from this. And when they see how there's a science behind building their business and it came from you, you're helping them, they're going to help you. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. Any other questions? We all good? Filled up today?
I think we're good.
All right. So if you're listening to the rebroadcast of this and you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate. Because, see, the person who invited you to participate today, they do business a lot different than other professionals in their industry. Is what they're looking at doing is helping other business owners, leaders, community-based organizations put systems in place to grow your business or your organization and impact more people, generate more revenue or contributions, working less hours. And so they know, so if somebody passed it along to you, have any questions, connect with the person who passed it along, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. God bless. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye-bye.